For my whole life, video games have been there. My first ever console was the Wii, where I was exposed to the very first game I ever played, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Ever since then, I've loved video games, especially Nintendo. And today, in honor of reaching 100 subscribers, I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite video games of all time. Before I start, just know that this is not a top 10 best. It is completely subjective to my opinion. There are games on this list that are quite possibly objectively better than others that may have placed higher, but this is purely in terms of how much I personally love and enjoy the game, along with the memories and attachment I already have. So while I was editing this video, I realized that a game that I forgot was Super Mario 3D World, and I just felt like that game deserved a mention. Like, it more realistically probably would have placed at number 10 if I remembered to put it here, but it's been a while since I played that game, so I kind of forgot about it. But just wanted to mention that real quick before we got into the video. I think that one would have placed as number 10. As my very first video game ever, as well as the game that introduced me to my favorite franchise, I thought New Super Mario Bros. Wii more than deserved a spot on this list. Of course now, especially with the recent release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, the new series is a bit stale, but years ago when I was making early memories with this game, it was anything but stale. Nostalgia is a powerful weapon and definitely affected a few of the games on this list. The childhood wonder this game gives off was one big reason it's on the list. There are several memorable levels and worlds within this game, and I cherish the moments of playing it with my dad all those years ago. From Wild World to New Leaf to New Horizons, I've always loved the Animal Crossing series. This is more of a general pick as opposed to one specific game. One of my earliest childhood games was Wild World on the DS, where I'd spend tons of time wandering around just talking to villagers and messing around. Did I ever make any great achievements? Not at all. To little me, that game was just a cute little break to socialize with silly animals. During the pandemic, the popular New Horizons took the world by storm, and I was caught right in the middle of that storm. I was instantly hooked, and I've racked up around 500 hours on the game just flattening and redecorating my island. Of course, it has some flaws, but not enough to stop this lovely franchise from being on the list. One of the more recent additions to my favorite games, Splatoon, comes in at number 8. I've only ever played Splatoon 3, and I started playing on Christmas of last year. This unique shooter game consists of 2 squads of 4 Inklings and Octolings fighting to win the objective with tons of unique ink shooting weapons. I've never really been into shooting or fighting games, but Splatoon's vibrant and friendly art style was part of what drew me in. There are several modes within the game, the first of which being the regular turf war, where players fight to have their ink color cover the majority of the map. Then there's 4 ranked modes, including tower control, where you must ride the tower to the other team's base, clam blitz, where you and your teammates have to get clams into the other team's basket, splat zones, essentially turf war with a certain boundary, and my personal favorite, Rainmaker, where you have to carry a powerful weapon called the Rainmaker to the opposite team's checkpoint. The last mode is separate from the others, that being Salmon Run, a PvE mode where you work with 3 others to take out salmonids. I could talk and talk about this game like a nerd, but there are 7 other games waiting on the list ahead. Another general pick comes next with the Pokemon franchise, which used to be my favorite before a particular game changed my mind. Pokemon is one of the most popular video game franchises, and everyone and their mother could recognize the infamous Pikachu. I'm sure you know, but the main gist of Pokemon is to collect and train a team of magical monsters, all with their own types, movesets, and stats. You travel through the world, taking on the 8 gym leaders, growing a stronger team in order to face against the final Elite Four and the champion. There are a few different ways to play, but my favorite way has always been collecting and shiny hunting. I've even acquired a few special shiny Pokemon through my hunting, including a shiny Charizard that took over 1,000 attempts. My favorite mainline game is and always has been Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, of which I've played through several times. I also enjoy X and Y, and I think they're quite underrated. One of the most recent Pokemon games was a spin-off called Legends Arceus, a game all about the collection aspect of Pokemon, so I enjoyed that one quite a lot too. And of course, I have to give an honorable shout out to Diamond and Pearl, my very first Pokemon games back when I didn't know what I was doing. Overall, this series means a lot to me, and I've even tried making my own Fakemon before. Here's a look at the very old designs I made when I was younger. Next up is the beautiful Super Mario Galaxy, one of the best 3D Mario games of all time. Mario travels through space, fighting his way through several unique planets in order to collect stars to power the Comet Observatory. Of course, we can't talk about this game without mentioning one of my favorite Mario characters, Rosalina, who has a great design and an emotional backstory. The controls and level design of this amazing game is one thing, but then you hear the OST and you're blown away by the orchestrated masterpiece of the likes of Rosalina and the Observatory, Buoy Base Galaxy, and of course the famous Gusty Garden Galaxy. Although not my absolute favorite Mario game, this masterpiece will always have a special place in the planet of my heart. The most recent game on this list is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, my favorite 2D Mario game. I've already made a review on this game if you'd like to watch that after this one, but I'll talk briefly on it here. The animation, art style, and world design is really what propelled my love for this game. It's so satisfying to look at, especially in contrast to the new Super series. The level design and challenges are accompanied by unique wonder events that leave every level feeling fresh and so much fun to play through. The controls feel silky smooth and make the journey through the game seamless and relaxing. I also adore the soundtrack, and I love the amount of collectibles in this game, including the Wonder Seeds, Purple Coins, and Standees. With little to no flaws, this game is such a treat, and I can see myself replaying it a lot in the future. The next one is very near and dear to my heart. It may not have been my very first video game or even my #1 favorite, but Minecraft has a special place in my heart like no other. I'm sure you already know what this game is, as it is one of the most popular and well-known video games. Minecraft is a world made up of blocks and has two main modes: survival, where the player must avoid death and collect the resources from the natural world, and creative, where the player has everything at their fingertips and is free to build and do whatever they please. I'm sure a lot of you can relate, but I have several little phases throughout the year where I hop onto Minecraft, start a new survival world, and just work and work until I'm burnt out. It's a cycle that's bound to happen again sometime soon, and I enjoy it every time. Minecraft is one of the longest standing favorites I have, one that's been with me through so many different platforms and updates. I started out on my dad's old iPod, then upgraded to the Xbox 360, and then the Xbox One. And then a few years ago, I finally got the Java edition on my computer, the one I currently play. Minecraft was a huge part of my childhood, and I want to give a big thanks to YouTubers like Stampy or DanTDM, Minecraft YouTubers I grew up watching and loving. Now that we're in the top 3, I would like to mention that my favorite game fluctuates and could honestly be any of the ones I'm about to talk about. This is the current standing, but it could change any day depending on what I'm obsessed with. Kicking off that top 3 is my favorite 3D Mario, Super Mario Odyssey. The game's so incredible it helped me realize that Super Mario is in fact my favorite franchise of all time. I was a little late to the party, only getting to play this game fairly recently, but the experience was amazing still, no matter how many years the game had been out. The gorgeous graphics and the amazing OST is one thing, but the controls and movement options are really what makes this game so incredible. Mario and Cappy feel amazing to control whilst collecting the many, many moons and purple coins of the game. As I've mentioned in my videos, I'm a completionist, so this game was perfect for me. I spent a lot of hours running around trying to collect all the collectibles, and I got pretty far. I will admit there's a few difficult ones I didn't have the ability to do, the volleyball one. But nonetheless, Mario Odyssey is an incredible game with unique kingdoms, level design, and a memorable OST. I'm sure it's no surprise to my subscribers that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is number 2 on the list. Of course this game would be here, I mean look at my channel. With 96 tracks, new and old, and so many characters to choose from, this game is such a blast to play whenever I'm hanging out with friends or even alone. I love to play online, although I usually place pretty low. I'm incredibly passionate about this game, and there are plenty of tracks I could rant about for ages. Not to mention that the soundtrack for this game is quite possibly my favorite of all time. I feel like there's seriously no misses throughout the whole OST. I can always count on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to brighten the mood of a party or a hangout, and I can even count on it to improve on a regular day. This game is incredible, and I can't wait for the next entry in the series. The vast majority of this list has consisted of purely Nintendo games so far. I've always been a huge Nintendo fan my whole life, and I'm also a huge Mario fan if you couldn't tell. But the current number 1 spot is neither of those, surprisingly. Grade 8 was not a good year for me, and I'm thankful I've had years to recover from everything that went down during that time. During that infamous last year of middle school, I discovered a sweet little game called Stardew Valley, one that was being sold for a discounted price on Steam. So I bought it, along with a few other games that were on sale. I went into the game blind, really only knowing the fact that it was a farming simulator. And to say that I loved it would be an understatement. Every day, I'd go to school and think about getting home to play the game all day. When I finally did, I'd make tea, retreat to my room, and turn on the computer to play, and these moments meant a lot to me. As dramatic as it sounds, Stardew Valley gave me an escape from the real world. The villagers of Pelican Town helped me feel accepted, even if they were just NPCs in the video game. Stardew Valley is an expansive game with tons to do, including farming, fishing, foraging, mining, and fighting. If you want to take a break from planting crops, go to the caves to collect minerals or fight off some monsters. If you want to relax, just go talk to the villagers around the town. Stardew Valley is more than just a game. It's a story and a journey. There are several NPCs in the game, all with their own personalities and hobbies. If you talk to them, get to know them, give them gifts, you'll raise their friendship level, and eventually you'll be treated to some special cutscenes between you and the characters, which only grows the fondness you have for said characters. There's no way I could go over all of the amazing features of this game in this small section of the video, but I have been wanting to do a full review on Stardew Valley. Since I'm primarily a Nintendo YouTuber, I'm not sure if my audience would be interested, but if you are, be sure to comment about it. Stardew Valley is currently my favorite game of all time, not only because of the vast content and endless fun, not only because of the well-written characters and soothing soundtrack, but also because it saved my life in a dark time. This has been my current list of my top 10 favorite video games. Real quick, I'd like to give a huge thank you for over 100 subscribers on the channel. I wasn't at all expecting the support on my most recent video, but I love reading all your comments and seeing all the support. I have a passion for creating things and sharing them with the world, so I'm really grateful you guys are helping me make that dream a reality. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and have a great day or night.